No virtual reality or
no
augmented
virtual reality
glasses.
or like
No.
robots that you like, the exoskeleton kind of thing.
We are trialing that out.
Oh, you're trying.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
I
Okay.
mean, the exoskeleton is mainly for us.
For
Like,
lifting. Right?
Yeah, for lifting. So that one has been already trialed out. Yeah. But
Oh.
implementation wise, this I'm not sure.
Oh, but it trialed out lah.
Yeah, trialed out lah.
Oh, I meant that as a joke, but it's true.
That is.
Oh. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Yala, your thrice weekly podcast where we talk about the hottest news and some very interesting people, all with a touch of what, Terrence?
Good old humor.
Good old humor, man.
Yeah.
So there's a lot going on in the news, there's a lot going on in the world, but today we have a very special guest in front of us who comes from like a field that, I mean, we've talked about in the past about the amazing work that they do, and now we have one of them in front of us.
Yeah.
So a very warm welcome to Sergeant Gina, a paramedic who is also an EMS section commander. Welcome, Gina.
Hello, everyone.
How's it going?
Good.
Good. Maybe to start off, can just tell us what is EMS? What does it stand for?
So EMS stands for Emergency Medical Service. So section commander is like a crew leader.
I see.
Got it. And how big is each section?
So it's not how big, but EMS has 4 rotations.
Okay.
4 rota lah. Yeah. So each ambulance will have 1 section commander,
Okay.
which is the crew leader lah.
Okay.
So each crew consists of a driver, which is also EMT trained, as well as a NSF EMT as well. So they're all medically trained.
Okay. And EMT stands for?
Emergency Medical Technician.
I see. Okay. So that means what you were saying, there's at any given time there's like 4 rotations of like an ambulance crew.
So how the rotation work will be like, example, rotation 1 works today, tomorrow. So then when 2 days off is rotation 2 and 3. That's when we rotate lah. Because we have a day-night shift ma.
Okay.
8 to 8 and then 8 to 8. Yeah.
And then 2 days off.
Yeah.
And then 8 to 8 at night, 8 to 8 at night, then 2 days off.
So it's 2 days, 2 off, 2 nights, 2 off.
Got it. Do you have a difficult time explaining to friends or family sometimes, like what exactly your job entails within the force?
If they don't have their own podcast, then they can come as a guest.
I just realized you spent the last 2-3 minutes just like sort of like, okay,
What is this? Yeah.
Okay, so I bring it more to myself lah.
Okay.
So I'm 4 years here with SCDF, but my mom still hasn't gotten like the routine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so she doesn't understand, like layman doesn't understand that we work 12 hours a day, come back, man the kids and things like that with 2 days off. So it consists of weekend shift as well. So we don't get to choose. So in a month, every rotation, right, will work at least 2 weekends per month.
I see.
Be it Saturday, Sunday, or like Sunday, Monday, that kind. Yeah, so 4 years in, still my mom still cannot get it.
There is a lot of sacrifice in terms of like the work-life balance kind of thing, right?
A bit. Yeah, because it takes a village. I have 4 kids lah, so it takes a village to look after the kids. Yeah, so it's hard because we will need every adult, including my husband and my mom's help also to man the kids, then with working hours and things like that.
So that one also got rotation, is it?
That one also got rotation. So my mom is like Monday to Friday, then I'm the weekends, or my husband is the weekends kind.
Oh,
yeah.
I see.
But you are the section commander lah. You sort of manage.
Manage
lah.
Yeah, manage lah. Have to.
Yeah. But wow, there must be quite something to, be in a job that requires a lot of your time and attention. But at the same time, you got 4 kids and everything running around. Like, how do you keep on top of everything? Like, what's your secret to balancing both sides?
Actually, I don't have secret. Importantly, right, everyone needs communication. Like, be it to colleagues, be it to superiors, be it to family. Also must have communication. Like my kids, they can call me anytime in the day.
Okay.
Tell me how's their day and things like that. Yeah, or sometimes they'll just leave a text. Okay, my kids are not tech savvy, so they don't have like iPad or iPhone on a daily basis.
Okay.
But if there's like an emergency that, example, Mommy, I need to get a pen. Mommy, I need to get a file. Then they will text. Then I'll prepare for it at night. Then the next day, then they will bring it to school.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, if no communication, I think very hard.
So then, like, even then at work, how do you balance? Because I mean, your work, you literally deal with life and death at times, right? So are you very good at like changing from mom mode to section commander mode?
I think both mode also the same.
Both mode the same.
both mode also the same.
Both mode also the same.
Yeah, it's just that when I am attending to a call, then when my phone rings or things like that, then I cannot answer.
Yeah.
Then I'll reply. I'll either reply later or I'll give the call back later after when I'm done with the call.
I see.
Unless it's like multiple times they call, and if they cannot reach me, then they will reach my husband or my mom.
I see.
Okay.
So it does sound like you have to be quite systematic in your approach with both taking care of family, but also being on the ball on the job as well, right?
Correct.
Do you find that there are traits of being, a mother of four, and then, versus like being a paramedic and being on call and taking care of people's lives? Are there things that you find similarities between the two?
Yes. Because I'm a mom of four. So if I attend to pediatric cases, then it really like hit me quite a bit. Because sometimes like when I look at kids, like we are so frail and things like that, like I will advise what the parents can do better, or like fever, what they can do before it hits too high and things like that.
I see.
Yeah, so small advices for them though.
It helps you empathize with the kids and the parents a bit more also, right?
Yeah. Like can understand their anxiety whenever their kids fall ill, or like example like small fall down, small scratches and things like that. Then you want to lend a helping hand.
I see. So given your job, I mean, I'm sure it can be emotionally taxing and physically taxing also. If we just rewind, like what made you want to become a paramedic in the first place?
What made me become a paramedic? Okay, so I like science.
Okay.
And I'm really very interested in the human body because of my grandmother. So my grandmother has a lot of medical problems like high blood, cholesterol, heart attack also. So when I was younger, right, I see a lot of ambulance crew attending to my grandmother because sometimes she feels numb on the hand. Luckily, it's not a stroke. Or like chest pains and things like that. Then I will see how they attend. Yeah, then it makes me feel like, hey, I should do this for the people also because this is so meaningful. So when I graduated N-level, I went to ITE to take nursing. Then I was like, wow, there's really a lot of people that needs help because we are aging population.
Yeah.
There's a lot of elderlies here in Singapore that would need help. Yeah, so when I took nursing, I think it's quite interesting. But I want to be closer to the people, like to help people on the ground even more instead of being in the wards and things like that.
I see.
So paramedic lor.
So the difference between let's say a paramedic and a nurse is that the paramedic is like the term is first responder . Immediately the problem, you are the first one to sort of try and diagnose it and try and see what you can immediately do to relieve the pain. Whereas a nurse is sort of you wait for the patient to arrive in the hospital, then you work on.
I wouldn't say wait but it's long-term care.
Got it.
Long-term care for the patients there because they all need help. So long-term care for the patients in the hospitals.
Sure.
Like I want to be more on the ground because like critical thinking. Then more hands-on. And I can see what's going on and I can intervene then.
I see.
I mean, you do sound to me like a very empathetic person. So you see how people feel and you feel more for their pain and all that. Doesn't it mean that being a paramedic, being the first responder, you see almost like people in quite bad situations? Does that like, how do you get over that? Or how do you think about that? Like, doesn't it affect you emotionally when you see people in very, very precarious situations and you are the first person to actually offer them any aid?
So I cannot say that it doesn't get over. Sometimes I still recall about the cases that I go to. Like the initial years when I started here in SCDF, there are some dramatic cases that still haunts me a bit lah. But then these cases are learning experiences for me. So in terms of learning experience wise, I would say how I can manage the patient better the next time round if similar cases comes to me again. Then how I attend to them, because there are no two cases that are the same. They can be only similarities. So more I would say is learning lesson than it will haunt me.
I see.
So it's not so I wouldn't think that it is so traumatic, but life lessons. Then how I can like guide my crew through the whole call, because end of the day I'm still a crew leader. If I'm unstable myself, or if like I'm emotionally traumatized because of the cases that I've been before, then my crew can't carry on with me. And it's how I bring them through and guide them through the whole call, like hand in hand.
And was it something that you learned over time, or it like that came quite naturally for you to always like, okay, this traumatic thing happening, there's still something good that can come out of it?
Learn through over time. Yeah, because there's sometimes we might make mistakes. Sometimes I'll take it as small learning, because my EMTs can be different every shift. They are not the same. So sometimes they might have been to this kind of calls before, sometimes they might not. So it's how we tell them how to preempt themselves and things like that to go for this kind of calls.
So that means as a section leader, I suppose they look to you to sort of like to see how calm you can be and everything. Because I've been in a situation where we had to call ambulance, paramedics came, and it just was very surprising to me how calm the paramedics were. And the family and everything was like very kanchong and delirious, but the paramedics are very calm and explaining things, and I think that helped calm people down a lot. Do you find that as the section commander and all that you really have to make sure that you maintain that level of calm so that everyone around you also can do their work properly?
Actually, we are racing inside. Our front is always very calm. But inside, we are like, oh no, what to do?
It's like duck paddling underwater.
It's like a duck paddling under the water. It's like because we must think of what's the next step, and we cannot think one step ahead. Sometimes we might need to think 2-3 steps ahead. Sometimes because the medics, the NSFs, the EMTs might not experience before. Some are very new. Some maybe 2 years in, but still, or 1.5 years in, but still haven't experienced certain cases. Then if we are the kanchong type, or we are like the very so flustered, the whole crew also will be flustered together with you. Then the whole environment is not controlled. So if oneself as a crew leader is calm or like put a front, then the whole situation will be calmer.
I see. So is there anything that like you do as a team leader, or that even the culture within the EMTs and EMS division that you all do to make sure like certain values that you all hold? Like before and after every case, do you do like something to bring your team together, or anything that you practice?
So for me personally, debrief over like example, we go for very massive RTAs, road traffic accidents some might not experience, or some might throw out because they're too scared.
What do you mean like throw up? You mean like
throw out after the whole call. So because they are too scared, or maybe like feel nauseous because of the adrenaline rush. So we'll debrief like what we done well, what we did wrong, and what to improve on. So similar cases that we go, these are the things that we should do instead of being so flustered. So we will actually we have a step-by-step guide when we go for road traffic accidents. We have to assess the areas, we have to help the patient, assess the patient properly, make additional ambulances if needed.
Are road traffic accidents the most common things, the calls that you respond to?
We do on a daily basis.
On a daily basis.
Like every shift should have sure have road traffic accidents. Be it minor, be it major, we still attend.
I see. And just now, just to go back a bit, you mentioned that you studied nursing, right? But what was the turning point that made you want to be in a role like what you described, like where it's very dynamic, you can have adrenaline pumping like every day. Was there a specific moment that you're like, okay, this is what I want to do?
Like I said, because of my grandmother.
Oh, so it was a gradual thing over time.
Yeah, it's a gradual thing. So then I can see her, like how she progress or how she deteriorate or how she improves and things like that. So I want to better know how we can help this elderly population.
I see.
Mainly.
But I mean, from being a nurse to a first responder, that one also is a change, right? Or was that also a very gradual thing for you? Like you wanted to be a first responder?
Gradual.
Oh, gradual.
So I seen my grandmother in the hospitals as before. Then I also nursed her in the hospitals when I was a nurse. Then I want to see how I can help this population, elderly especially, to in the pre-hospital care. Like what can we do better for them? Like not just come into the hospital, or what better interventions that we can do pre-hospital.
I see.
Okay.
So I mean, that means right out of school, I mean, your first job was not as a first responder, It was actually as nursing. Okay. Then were people around you very surprised when you told them that you were going to become a paramedic?
My mom don't approve. My mom say too scary.
Too scary. Okay.
Too scary because she cannot accept like what I see or what I go through in a daily call. Like how I can be so calm, or how I can tell her, oh, actually I save a life by doing this. Yeah, she cannot accept.
Isn't that something amazing that your day-to-day job is about saving? You could save a life, in your day-to-day work. Don't you find that something?
It's fulfilling. It's very fulfilling. Like to see someone recover, example from a heart attack, or someone having a heart attack and then getting sent to an emergency, like a PCI facility, straight to help open up the blood vessels, is really very fulfilling. Yeah, or someone revive from a cardiac arrest is very fulfilling.
But does it take a bit of time for that fulfillment to set in? Because during the case, I'm assuming you have to be full on, right? It's only like how does that normally set in? How do you normally take that in, that feeling?
It's like when I know that the patient's having a heart attack, example.
Yeah.
Then I have certain drugs that can help them intervene that heart attack. Yeah. Then when the patient arrives at the hospital and the patient actually recovers and write a feedback on how they thank us and things like that, then we're like, oh, that's really nice.
I see.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a kid at home who's at the age where he's crazy about ambulances and everything. So he always tells me, I'll be a paramedic and everything. How about for you yourself, like in terms of explaining to your family or your kids about your job? Are they very amazed by what you do on a day-to-day basis when you tell them about it?
Day-to-day, my older one, older one would relate more. Because she likes the human anatomy also. So she will be like, oh, do you see a broken bone? Oh, do you see somebody that has heart attack? Oh, do you help them to put back the bone? Or what do you do? That kind. Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, we don't put back bones lah.
But you must be comfortable seeing all that lah, right? Because I mean, I've spoken to some friends who are doctors and all, and like for me, and the sight of blood when I was young, right, I went for some taking the blood lah. Then it was just 2 injections on my wrist, right, and I puked in the doctor's office because I hate injections, and like with blood and all, I'm like, okay, but for you, was that also something to get used to, or it was like okay for you right from the start?
So even until now, 4 years in, I wouldn't say like it is a comfortable feeling. It's never a comfortable feeling. Like sometimes I'll feel painful when I see someone bleeding. Like it just pains me a bit.
Sure.
Yeah. Or when I see someone fell, an elderly fell lah, and she's in pain. I mean, there and then have to be calm.
Yeah.
Give the appropriate medications that we have.
Yeah.
Then we help the patient onto the stretcher and things like that safely. It pains me a bit because sometimes they really cannot move. And pain is very subjective. I can tell you that it's painful to me, but it might not be painful to you. Yeah. Or like, oh, it's just blood. But I can take it, but you might not be able to. Yeah.
I see.
It's subjective. It's not comfortable. So.
Does that I was going to say, does that bleed into your everyday life? But I mean, does it affect you?
Of all puns,
No, I wanted to ask, does it like, say when you watch shows or movies and then, there's scenes of violence or gore, that do you feel that you interpret it differently from before when you were not a paramedic or anything? Does it feel different when you watch scenes like that?
Learning point lor.
Learning point.
Learning point.
Other people might do it differently. I might do it differently. But mainly the principles must be correct.
I see.
Yeah, if the principle's wrong, then not good.
But do you ever watch like TV or movies and be like, okay, that does not happen? It's like, when growing up, right, you see Rambo holding 2 machine guns or like pulling out the grenade thing with his teeth.
Yeah.
Then you're like, wow, so cool. Then you go army, you realize it's impossible to do that.
Yeah.
So when you look at, like those war movies and all, do you see sometimes certain things that, okay, that's not really how it's done, but it's a movie or a TV show? Does that kind of affect how you...
No.
Oh, no?
No. I don't really watch TV shows.
No, you don't?
Okay.
Yeah, I don't really watch TV shows.
Got it.
I guess you got your hands full at home also.
Yeah, lor. No time.
So of all the cases that you have dealt with over the years, like what are some memorable ones to you? Because you mentioned that there's a lot of fulfillment, right? What are some of the more memorable ones?
I take you to Turkey, can?
Can.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Sure.
So in Turkey, it's very different from Singapore because natural disaster ma. So we are being brought there and we see I had a kid.
And the context is this was the earthquake last year.
Correct.
Last year, okay. Yeah.
So I was being out in the field and attended to a kid. But the kid was very drowsy. And because of the limitations that we have there, like communication, language lah. So we cannot really understand what the patient was actually having. But when I did all my checks and things like that, some abnormalities over the checks lah. And all I could do was advise her to go to the major hospital. Yeah. And to see a kid, like, because that was day 3 of the natural disaster earthquake, right? Having a kid to be in that situation scares me a bit.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, because over here, like, bring back to Singapore, I've never seen a kid this drowsy before.
Oh, and she was on her own, is it?
She was with her mom.
Oh, her mom.
Yeah, in the arm.
I see.
I see. But how did that whole assignment come about? Like for you to get called up and assigned there, was it something that you kind of stepped forward to?
Yeah.
Oh, you did?
So it's a voluntary thing. So every quarter, different divisions will volunteer to be in this operations Lion Heart lah, Ops Lion Heart lah. So then they will handpick who are the suitable ones to go for this. Then just nice when it's that quarter of the period that I was on standby, the earthquake happened. Then we're all being called up.
So basically you sort of volunteer to be part of an operation where you will go and help international if there are events, international disasters or something, and then you are sort of internationally on standby lah. Then if something happens, then you all fly out and help out there lah.
That's right. Mainly in Asia lah.
Oh, in Asia.
Yeah, mainly in Asia.
And what made you volunteer for that? Because you mentioned just now, like, you realize you want to help people, you want to care for people, but this is like going abroad for natural disasters. Like, what made you want to apply?
So opportunities don't come by just like that. So I really want to know what's going on overseas. So I've never done something like that before. So I want to give it a try.
Got it.
Yeah, then that's what motivated me lah.
So when you all got a call that you're flying to Turkey, what were you feeling at that point of time? Like scared, excited, or what?
Because it's an earthquake. something that in EMS we never see before or locally lah. We don't experience it.
Yeah.
So there are many factors that worries us a bit. Like, will there be a second earthquake there? Will we experience earthquake? Or how is the situation like when we reach there? Yeah, so we have very senior colleagues that went there before. Like our senior DART team went there before. I mean, went to similar earthquake cases before, and then he preempt us when we were being activated.
And how did he preempt you?
Like he will tell, they tell us what to expect. What are we going to see? How many people are there? And what are the population like?
So what are some of the things that stood out from you from that whole experience? Like, be it something you learned, something that surprised you, something that shocked you. Was it anything that you were expecting, or everything was like...
Something that I didn't expect was because it's like a missionary thing that we go out to help them and things like that. So when I put down my medical backpack, everyone will come rushing to you. Those injured, those in pain, they'll just come rushing to you for help. Yeah, like they need plasters, or they need their toe is swollen.
I see.
Yeah, or their toe already has a pus in it. They'll come rushing to you.
And how did you deal with that?
There was a queue.
There was a queue.
There was a queue when I put down my medical backpack in one of the standbys that I went for.
I see.
So, I mean, just to understand also, so when a Singapore team goes out to a foreign country to help and all, right? The idea is that it's more than just a few countries. It's like a lot of different countries coming together to help. And how does communication work, given comms might be down during that period, and there's language issues and stuff like that? How does coordination occur in that kind of circumstances?
So there are local translators that will help us, because language we cannot speak.
Yeah.
So there's a local guide that will help us there as well to translate for us, or bring us to disaster sites that needs to be assessed, that needs our aid.
I see.
Yeah.
I see. So what was the contingent size of the entire relief effort?
68.
68 from Singapore?
From Singapore.
And with the other countries, once you add them all up, in the hundreds or thousands?
Probably thousands.
And then what would you say was what did the Singapore contingent bring to Turkey that that was unique that they might not have in terms of expertise or what in that area?
Because I was one of the first 20 that was there.
Okay.
So medical aid, we have doctors also. Our MOs are there as well. Equipment wise, I'm not too sure. But medically, we have all the medications that is prepped for disasters.
I see.
In case that our people need help as well. Mainly
did it get overwhelming at any point in time? Just like, be it the request for medicine, or just, I'm assuming the area around you, there was a lot of impact from the earthquake, right? Like how was dealing with that whole thing? Because I mean, you live in Singapore, everything kind of works, the buildings all whole. There, it must have been a surreal.
So Singapore, we don't experience natural disaster.
Yeah.
Most to most is like rainy, flood.
Yeah. That
kind. We don't have very strong winds and things like that. So when we reached there, it was very sandy. So medicine wise, it's not too overwhelming. It's just that when we are out there in our different sections, people will come rushing.
I see.
They would really need help, because they might be busy with the area itself. They might be sourcing for their family members as well, for finding for their family members. But when they really need help is when the pain isn't tolerable. Then they will come to us.
Yeah. And like, culturally, was there anything about the people there that that you saw something like that maybe surprised you also? Because like what you said, Singapore, we never experienced natural disasters, and no one really knows how Singaporeans will react in a time like that. But when you were interacting with the locals there who were going through such a traumatic time, like what did you notice about them that stood out?
I'm surprised that they're actually very united.
Oh.
In a disaster or where they lost their loved ones, they are still united. Like example, the first day when we were there, we helped the family member of a 12-year-old boy to find him, as well as the other family members. But unfortunately, the other family members passed on lah. So other people were there, like locals lah. Their locals were there to help as well. But you can see that even though like you and I, them lah, lost a family member, but we still encourage each other to help each other to find their family member and things like that.
Oh.
Yeah. Even food. No, don't just say like finding their family member, food-wise also. They share among each other. If like example, their houses don't have toilet, they share, they were like, hey, come over, share the toilet also. Then if they have kids, they will man the kids each together.
Oh.
Yeah. So they are all together in like a place.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I
So
see.
very united, even though like they lost their loved one, disaster happened.
I see. So coming back from there, did it make you look at things in Singapore differently, or did it even change your whole view on life and the work that you do?
Kindness is very important. Like down there is helping each other. Like if you're in need, I help you. Doesn't mean that I lost someone or I'm injured, I don't help you. But where in Singapore, I've seen cases that when somebody fall, then when I call the caller, then the caller will say, oh, don't know what happened, I left already. I mean, it's not something bad, but maybe it's something more that we could do for each other.
Yeah.
It's not something bad, but something more that we can help each other. Doesn't mean like, example, I fall down, they don't help me.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's something us also. Maybe we are scared, or maybe we don't know. I mean, it happens to me also.
But you never scold them on the phone. Why you leave that?
No. We don't scold. We don't scold.
I see.
Yeah.
We've seen that a lot, even like in our work as well. Like when we are on the streets trying to just engage with people on the streets, Singaporeans. Just generally, there's this sense like, let's like, I'm doing my own thing. Don't disturb me. Don't talk to me. Don't do whatever.
Yeah.
I've been in that situation where I had a big fall in public, and then like people like practically just like walk past they didn't see it happen. And
really?
wow, how is that possible?
Then you never scold them?
I'm too broken to scold them. I fell off a skateboard or something, I think, and then everyone just like continued walking by.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's the thing that's why I think having those overseas experiences helps so much. Because I won't deny that sometimes when I'm on the street also, I see someone approach me. In my mind, it's like, okay, they're going to sell me something, and I might not be the kindest, right? But I think just hearing your story and like, I mean, we see videos also, right? They're going through so much, and yet there's really like the human spirit there. So would you say that it changed you a lot going there, like that whole experience?
Spread kindness.
Spread kindness. As in, it makes you want to...
Yeah. It makes me want to educate people to spread kindness everywhere.
And how are you trying to do that?
Sometimes I will encourage the caller, are you able to take a peek? Like, is he okay? Or is he conscious? Small gestures Or like, sometimes when I bring my kids to the zoo, I see a kid fall. I'll tell my daughter, hey, go and give the person a plaster. Spread kindness. Yeah. Small gestures.
So it's like the littlest actions to people who are literally just fell down or just experiencing pain. You feel that can really, make a very big difference in how they react and all that, right?
And
see that.
Like what about, because now you're saying like the kindness in Singapore and that you see overseas, like we can always be more kind but what about the other medical practitioners in Turkey that you interacted with? Anything about Like what you notice about the way Singaporeans are versus other countries?
We didn't have much time to interact with others, only on the last day. In Singapore, similar. So when we have like a mass casualty, I would say most to most we have like tents set up with our doctors in it, with drugs. They have the same thing there as well. So they have more ambulances because their country is bigger, many towns and things like that. So in Singapore we don't have that much ambulances individually, but we have a mass casualty like a vehicle that can support mass casualty like maybe 8 to 10 patients at one time. We have medical beds also, but that is something that overseas don't have. Yeah.
I see.
That's the difference, lor.
I see. And just the way that they worked, was it, or is it generally similar? There's like one section commander, then you lead a team, or you saw very different styles?
I think there are 2 in an ambulance, where here is 3. Because like I said, their town is very big. So they don't have so many people that are medically trained. So probably 2. But both of them are like EMTs trained. Either that one of them can be a paramedic, either that one of them is a doctor equivalent.
I see.
So do you encourage your colleagues to also do what you did in terms of volunteer to go overseas and help in those disasters?
Try. Give it a try.
And what is the one thing that you learned that you feel will be valuable for them to learn from this kind of experience?
Take back what other people do overseas, and then maybe we can help the people over here. Like similar, like being united. Or how we can help each other.
So it's really a mindset thing that going there and just watching how people react to such a terrible disaster, that actually
because we don't see that every day, ma.
That's true.
Yeah.
But then, is there anything that you generally see in Singapore, like maybe some way about just our culture or the way we do things that makes it harder or easier for you to be a paramedic? Because I know you mentioned that maybe we can all be kinder, but anything about Singaporeans that you think influences the way you work?
Okay. Singapore very multiracial, multicultural also.
Yeah.
So sometimes we have to be respectful to each other. Because we attend to anyone and everyone. Like example, the Indian culture. Sometimes we cannot wear our shoe into the house. I was told that it was disrespectful. I mean, I didn't look it up, but that is how we manage with each other. Or how I go to other people's house. Because sometimes we wear shoe into the house.
I see.
But I will ask permission first, whether we can wear our shoes in.
Yeah.
I know for the Indian culture, we cannot, because it might be disrespectful to whoever that we are attending to.
I see. So there's those things that you have to be very cognizant of.
Yeah, minor lah.
Okay.
Because multiracial, we have to be accommodative to each other.
Yeah. Then what about the types of buildings? Like, Singapore, I mean, like what you said, the town in Turkey was very spread out. So I'm assuming more low-rise buildings.
Oh, they have high-rise buildings.
Oh, they have high-rise also.
They have high-rise building also.
Okay. But for Singapore, anything about, I mean, now, like, the blocks are getting taller and taller. Does it, I mean, I'm sure it has to impact your work also.
So the fire station that I'm in, we have a lot of high-rise buildings, sometimes 40th floor. We have to wait for very long for the lift. So sometimes I personally will call the caller and tell them we might take some time because the waiting of the lift is quite long. Yeah, sometimes they will be understanding lah. Yeah.
Sometimes they're not, I see.
Yeah.
I guess because they also going through a very rough time.
Yeah, correct. They are going through tough times also, like probably they are really in pain or really in discomfort or they really need help. Sometimes they are really breathless that they might need our oxygen as soon as possible, that kind. Yeah.
And you also mentioned road traffic accidents earlier, right? And there's almost at least one call every day, right? So I mean, Singapore is, getting quite more and more dense with more traffic and everything. Does that do you see that there are more challenges in dealing with road traffic accidents? Or are they getting bigger and scarier and more impactful or what?
So the road traffic accidents that I usually attend to are at expressways. Because my fire station is in Alexandra. So Alexandra has AYE. So when we go by the AYE, right, sometimes challenges that we face when we are driving, even though our siren is on and things like that, people don't give way.
Because it's expressway.
Yeah, it's an expressway. Sometimes people might think that we are supposed to take the shoulder to go in. But sometimes the accident happens on lane 1.
Yeah.
If it's on lane 1 and if we are going to take the shoulder, then it will cause more congestion.
Across,
because we will tend to cut maybe 4 or 5 lanes, then hazards will happen as well.
Yeah.
So sometimes we siren, but nobody gives way. So sometimes when I watch shows, in the Station 19 that I watch, sometimes they give way. Like when the ambulance siren, fire truck siren on, it's like automatically the cars will split.
Yeah.
But here is we don't.
Oh really? Yeah. So I mean like but the ideal thing is the moment someone hears a siren, they look in their rear view mirror or side view and they give way lah. So I mean, but like what should for anyone listening also, anything that people should do more of that they aren't really doing aside from just giving way? Like, is it just immediately move to as far aside and clear the center path, or you kind of need to?
If we are going, then we will look for hazards also, because if we are on lane 1 and people don't give us way on lane 2, or maybe like filter a bit to the side because you're already on lane 1 you can't do much on lane 1, but people on lane 2 maybe can filter out a bit and let us pass through the lane.
And what about traffic lights? Like, because I know, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you guys can go past, right?
Cannot.
Oh,
Cannot. So we have different triaging as well. So only P1 plus cases we are able to beat the red light, but beat the red light with caution. You can't just beat the red light just like that. Your sirens must be on, your beacon light must be on, and like the crew leader has to look out for traffic. Driver has to look also, because sometimes it's a
cross junction.
Yeah, so it might be dangerous also.
Yeah.
So with caution, then we can beat the red light.
So that means if you're a driver at a cross junction, you hear the siren, you should just take note that just be a bit more alert lah. Right.
Either that, some paramedics, I know they will raise up their hand, like wind down their window, raise up their hand, so they can alert the drivers that are going by.
There's the power hand, like every time you want to really stop traffic, you use that. But Singaporean drivers sometimes sometimes they don't say even part for the traffic. Sometimes the ambulance goes by, and they will follow the ambulance and they also drive very fast. I'm like, what is this? Like, this is like Tour de France or something.
It's like a movie lah.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Yeah, because those trips also must be quite adrenaline pumping lah, right? In the ambulance when you go for a case and it's quite an urgent case.
If it's like a P1 plus, it might be P1 plus to a breathing problem.
Well, what's a P1?
P1 plus is different triaging, like priority 1.
So what would be an example of a priority 1?
Someone that is breathless, very breathless, like gasping for air. That kind that needs immediate attention, needs immediate intervention on the patient. Or example, cardiac arrest. Someone that needs something to be done, resuscitation to be done on the patient. Yeah.
I see.
Or someone in an RTA that is bleeding profusely or unconscious in an RTA that governs a P1 plus.
I see.
So then we will need to rush with caution.
Rush with caution. I see. So when like you all talk to anything, because you've been a paramedic for 4 years, right? Any changes that you have seen with regards to people's perspective or openness to becoming an EMT that you have noticed? Or like when you talk to younger generation, do you one thing we hear a lot is that when you talk to kids, the number one job they want to be is YouTuber, which sounds a bit weird lah. But do you see more people just thinking about this as a career, or like what are the perspectives of the younger generation towards things like this?
Okay, so I'm 4 years with SCDF, but I was 8 years in private ambulance. So I've come from the era that last time we use paper and pen to write our forms indicating like what injuries or what happened to the patient, how is the patient's conscious level, what type of case that it is. To now, there was a huge jump because technology is in place ma.
Yeah.
So now we have iPad that's issued to every paramedic, every section, EMS section commander lah, crew leader as well, so that we can trace all their past medical history lah, drug allergy, then we can type it also. So last time also we used paper and pen like for our daily checks. So I was one of them that in the team that established this Form SG that can be clicked in one go.
I see.
So it's huge jump from paper and pen and now technology.
I see.
A lot more convenient.
I see.
Okay. Then what advice would you give to, a young person who kind of like you, like that, was interested in medical field, anatomy and all? What advice would you give them in terms of like pursuing a career like yours?
Like your daughter.
Don't be fixated. There are a lot of things that you can do with our equipment on hand to help one patient. Open your whole vision and whole mind. Like look out of the box. There's a lot of things you can do or come up with.
So it's almost like having to be creative within
what I have.
With what you have.
Correct.
Okay. Oh, that's quite interesting. Because you would imagine that there's a very strict protocol and everything that you need to follow.
We do have a set of guidelines that we are supposed to follow day in, day out, every shift. But then again, this guideline will help us if in case something goes wrong or in case we forget something. Then this guideline will help us to remember.
I see.
As well.
So it's like a framework of sorts lah.
Yeah.
With room to be creative about how to solve a particular problem lah.
Or on top of the framework.
On top of the framework lah, I would say.
So one thing you mentioned just now is that every rota you get different team members, right? But how do you as a section commander, because everything you've told us, it feels like there can be like life and death situations where even seconds can mean a difference, right?
Yes.
How do you get everyone on the same page?
Okay, so my practice when we go for a call, we will have to call the caller, then gather information lah. Like example, we are going for, let's say, stroke. Okay, we are coded for a stroke case. But then stroke is very, some patients might say, oh, it's a stroke. But actually, it's just weakness, that kind. Then we don't know because we are not there and then to see that yet. So when proceeding for the call, we need to call the caller to gather further information, whether conscious, how is he and what's he's feeling, and things like that. And let them know that we are already on the way. So once we reach there, then I will, like when we are going to the unit or to the location, I will preempt my crew, like what the caller said or what the caller have told. Then there are certain things that we might need to prepare. Maybe drugs, maybe fluids, that kind. Yeah, so we are all on the same page when we are attending to the patient. So at least they know what kind of call that we are going. Or sometimes patient fall, there might be bleeding over the head because they hit onto the edge of the table, sometimes the edge of the piano, then have bleeding. So we'll need to prepare like more gauze, prepare more gloves in case we touch bodily fluids. Yeah, so these are the things that when we call the caller, then we can preempt our crew. However, it might not be the same every time we reach the location. Or sometimes the bleeding already stopped. Then we'll manage from there. Or sometimes when we reach there, the caller didn't tell us that, oh, actually, there's the leg got fracture. Then my driver will either go down to grab the equipment because we have immobilization kit. After that, we improvise like what we can do first to help the patient while the driver might be going down or not with whatever we have.
Any examples of like a very difficult situation you've been in that your team somehow managed to think of something that worked. Like there was a lot of improvisation.
Improvisation. I would say when I'm on a RTA, road traffic accident. Because road's very heavy traffic. Sometimes to grab our equipment might not be the safest option because of the ongoing cars that are moving. So there was once we had to improvise like secure whatever we have first because the patient flung out of the motorbike. So we couldn't grab our immobilization kit because of the ongoing traffic.
Yeah. This was expressway.
This was the expressway. So we grabbed whatever we could to immobilize the spine so that it doesn't move too much. The patient doesn't move too much until help like TP, traffic police, come to guide the traffic away for us. Then we get our immobilization kit.
Oh, so it was that heavy that even getting your equipment was a hazard.
Because it was on a three lane, like very narrow. A narrow road.
I see,
One is turning, two going straight.
Oh.
Yeah, so we couldn't, and it was in between like lane 1 and lane 2, so we couldn't get our equipment.
I see.
Yeah, because everybody's either going straight, if not they are filtering out. Yeah, so it's dangerous So if happens like that, then I won't tell my crew to wait for the traffic police, wait for more help. If not, two of them, like my EMTs, NSF, and my EMT driver can go get it together.
I see.
With caution, definitely.
And that's your call to make. I see.
So, like you mentioned earlier that sometimes you do get notes of people thanking you for your response and everything. What's the one most memorable instance of that happening?
Memorable one was I went to a cardiac arrest. Even though I cannot resuscitate or he eventually passed on. But the process was, my aim was to help the patient, at least to give whatever I could to the patient there and then, like resuscitation, drugs and things like that. The doctor actually wrote to thank all of us, like my whole crew, for helping and attending because it was out of working hours. Yeah.
I see.
But then when the ambulance came, we were like hand in hand helping the patient together. Then the doctor thanked us.
Well, that means you weren't in. It wasn't your working hours.
Yeah, it was my off day.
Your off day. As in you were responding to something just outside or
just below where I stay.
Wow. Okay. I see. Yeah, so that's really above and beyond duty. I see. Wow.
Does that happen often?
No.
Oh no. So that was a very extraordinary case.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh. And the note came in like via email or email.
Usually the feedbacks are either given online, if not they will handwrite it.
I see. And why does that stand out as a meaningful piece of?
Because it's on my off day, we will never expect somebody to recognize us on our off day. But the doctor actually thanked. Yeah.
I see.
Usually when we are in uniform, then people recognize us. Oh, you're from SCDF.
Yeah. I see.
Yeah.
So you you've mentioned that it's a very fulfilling job and it's something that you genuinely want to help people. But is there anything else that keeps you going and staying in this career? Because it is very challenging, right? What keeps you motivated?
I feel that there are a lot of things more that I can do for the patient. Example, we can explore more drugs that we can give to the patient in any instances now. Then there are a lot of things that I haven't learned. I feel that I can learn more. I can grow. There's a lot of opportunities where we can grow in SCDF.
I see.
That's something that I haven't get to it.
Okay. And grow in terms of, I'm sure even like your people skills, your management skills, there's a lot of room to build that.
People skill, knowledge, opportunities, like games. Because I was in a SAMS war last year And there are a lot of things that we can learn during a game.
Well, what's SAM's War?
SAM's War is like how we exchange our skill set.
I see.
How we can better do things or innovation during the call. Yeah, so there are many things that I feel that we can learn from each other because we don't see paramedics. We don't see each paramedic, how they go call, how they attend to call. So there are a lot of things that we can learn from each other.
Oh, so that's almost like a simulation exercise, is it? Oh,
yeah.
Where you join up with other paramedics or you?
There are scenarios given. So one group will go first and then another group.
Oh, to learn from each other.
Yeah, to learn from each other. So I think it's very fulfilling. Because everyone does things differently.
I see.
So we can learn what's good.
Yeah. So is that in your, I mean, do you see for yourself that there'll be another opportunity to, like go to something like the Turkey earthquake site again to do work there? Is that something that you want to do again, or it's or you're looking for other kinds of things, other ways of learning?
So having to volunteer again, I would say I will give the opportunity to other paramedics because this kind of opportunities doesn't come by very often because we don't wish for such things to happen.
Of course, yeah.
So if can encourage everyone to like volunteer, you can see things over at the other side. It might not be what we are here in Singapore. Experience also.
I see. Just one more thing. You mentioned that like there's a lot of room to grow, right? Is there, and you mentioned that, technology, innovations in drugs, that can be used for that. Is there any technology that you are quite excited about that might help you do your job better or help paramedics do their job better? Or anything developing that you're seeing that, okay, at some point that is really going to change the way we work?
So like I say that there's this iPad that we can see the patient's past medical history or allergy in case we go for cases like they're unconscious and cannot give us any details.
Yeah.
So we can better see what the patient is having, then we can treat accordingly.
Okay.
No virtual reality or
no virtual reality
glasses.
Or like robots that you like, the exoskeleton kind of thing.
We are trialing that out.
Oh, you're trying?
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I mean, the exoskeleton is mainly for us.
For lifting.
Right? Yeah, for lifting. So that one has been already trialed out yet. But implementation wise, this I'm not sure.
Oh, but it trialed out.
Yeah, trialed out.
Oh, I meant that as a joke, but it's true.
That is.
Oh,
because we are heavy lifting the patient's things.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, we also have stretchers. Better stretchers whereby we don't have to lift and carry.
Oh, I see.
So it's all like elevated machine.
I see.
Yeah, so that's on trial as well.
Wow, that is awesome.
Wow. Super, like become like
super paramedic.
Super paramedics.
Super paramedic. Awesome. Yeah. Thanks so much for sharing, man.
Yeah.
I mean, like at the end of every conversation on this podcast, we do have this segment called One Shiok Thing, which we told you about before the podcast. So we're still going to go first, but you have a few more minutes to think of one thing you can share with your audience, our audience. Terrence, you have yours?
Yeah, I do. It's actually a YouTube video by this channel called Dami Lee. I think she's an architect. Not sure based where, but she does videos about interesting architecture around the world. And she really breaks down in terms of the structure and the historical significance. So the one video that I chanced upon was she did something on the Kowloon Walled City, which was a part of Kowloon near Hong Kong. That was probably the densest city in the world at one point. And it was just basically, it started off as a military installation. And then a lot of Chinese refugees moved there during the war and everything. And they just started building upwards and inwards into the city, such that the buildings sort of all just started to become interconnected. And they would, the roofs were connected and everything.
Oh, wow.
So it's a very dystopian look to the city. It was demolished in the 90s.
Oh, okay.
But when it was around, there was a lot of crime, a lot of like things going on in there. So yeah, it's just a very interesting video breaking down how this kind of city is almost like an organism that's alive and just building on top of each other. And it just there are so a lot of interesting things about even how they access medical care. Like there's no roads running through the city, so they have to go through each building, different floor. If someone's sick, to go and see a doctor or nurse or something.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, this architecture channel breaks it down and it's quite interesting.
And how long is the video?
13 minutes.
13 minutes. Okay. Mine is also something to watch. In parallel with some of the shows that I mentioned before, I started this new show called Carol and the End of the World. It's an animated TV series on Netflix from the creator of Rick and Morty. Have you heard of the show Rick and Morty? It's a very zany kind of animated show, but this one, right, is very different because the whole premise is there is a meteorite coming to Earth and it's going to reach in 7+ months, and there is no way to survive it. So the whole world is like people are living their life the way they want to. They're like, because you don't have to plan anything beyond 7 months, right? So fireworks, parties every day. But the main character, Carol, is someone who finds that the thing she wants to do most is a regular office job. And together with these other people that she finds just who are working in office for no reason, they're just typing gibberish, but that brings them comfort. So I thought it was such a cool premise and it's quite funny. So that's my one Shiok Thing, Carol and the End of the World. And Gina, what about you?
Station 19. It's on Netflix, I think, and Disney Plus. So it brings me, I would say, more to reality, the cases that they go to. And there are cases that we don't get to see here in Singapore.
Also, it's a docu-series almost.
It's like a series.
Like it's real life cases.
I guess so.
Okay. But based in Korea or?
America, I think.
America.
Okay.
Yeah. Where they show cases that how they attend to and how they actually help each and every one of them.
I see.
So some of them are like chemical that we don't see here in Singapore very often.
Chemical poisoning, is it? Or?
Yeah. Chemical poisoning
I see.
that we don't get to see here very often in Singapore.
Oh. I see. So even the TV shows, you see it as an opportunity to learn.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's dedication.
That's dedication, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, but thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I mean, thank you so much for you and your team for what you all do. It's awesome. And yeah, hope to see you again on this podcast at some point soon.
Yeah. And hopefully people who listen and, they also inspired by your story. Like, I think how you started because of watching someone in your own family, going through different things, and then that inspire you to, pick up yourself and make a career out of it. I think that hopefully inspires people also, young people who are thinking about their careers too.
Yeah. Awesome, Gina.
Thanks so much.
And thanks everybody for listening. We'll talk to you all soon.